Good to finally get back into the semi-serious stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It's been obviously a long grind pre-season. So I guess after last year's result, we're ready to play again. So I guess we had the fun of AFLX last week, and now we're ready to get into the games. As there's only 2 games, so you expect a lot of the guys to probably play, and it's nice to get up to Strath and get into it.
Does it add a little bit more importance considering you've had AFLX? The pre-season comp was always treated as that. Yeah. It still is that, but now there's something else in there to sort of trial a few more things.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I thought it was good to give guys an opportunity at AFLX, and we saw a lot of teams, I guess, to test their ball movement out and things like that. And it's obviously a bit harder defending with less numbers, but I thought the boys that we had playing adapted to the game really well, and hopefully you're going to see a lot of that sort of flow into the JLT games now.
How strong is the team? You're going with sort of only 2 games. Port boys said yesterday they're probably going to have to go full strength for most games just to get used to round 1. Is that your plan too?
Yeah, I'm not totally sure of the plan. I think team selection will be pretty traditional. I think they'll probably be Thursday or Friday, being the Sunday game, but I'd imagine would be reasonably strong, as it is, like you said, there's only 2 games, so all the players are looking for an opportunity to fine-tune it ready for round 1.
A lot of clubs tailor it individually. Do you know what your plans are for the next couple of weeks? Do we expect to play 2 or 1? Or?
Traditionally, I would, yeah, just because in the past I like to have a pretty long lead in. I'm not a guy who can just show up on the day and perform. So, I'm sure I'll have the conversation with Pikey. We train later today and then on Thursday again. So I'm sure we will have the conversation with the older guys around what it looks like for them. But for me personally, I'm keen to play and keen to get into it, as there's nothing like game simulation.
What's changed this pre-season? Anything notable from months gone by?
A few personnel changes. I think after looking at last year, I think we got a lot of things right, but unfortunately we didn't perform when it mattered. So I think for us, it's about getting back to, I guess, those key indicators. I thought we were strong contested ball, and that was a good indicator. Our offense has obviously been really strong in the past few years, and our team D is something that's growing. So I think you'll just see hopefully an improvement in all those areas, but most of all just making sure we can perform when it matters most.
You mentioned the disappointment of last year. How much of a talking point has that been, or how much of a driver over summer?
I guess you'd have to speak to each player individually, but we came back. I think it got spoken about that we had a team discussion around it, and that's sort of been the end of it. I think in terms of a motivator, I think you can speak to any club and it will be a motivator for them to give themselves a chance for the ultimate. But we'll be looking to, I guess, build again. We're only in pre-season, so I think it'd be wrong of us to sort of be looking that far down the track. It's important to make sure we're ticking off every step.
With Walker no guarantee for round 1, is it possible you'd trial the likes of Deere and even Keith, who played forward last week?
I think you'll see a lot of guys get their opportunity. I think over pre-season now, I feel we're a really deep squad. We've got a lot of guys who are AFL ready, and when guys have strong pre-seasons like the guys you mentioned, I think it's important to give them opportunity. So we've got a lot of flexible players. I think that's a big part of our game, and you'll probably see them get a chance in the next couple of weeks.
Have you voted on your leadership group yet, Sauce?
No, we haven't. So that'll probably take place in the next week or so as we're getting nearer to the game.
Before you expect it to be announced before the first game on Sunday?
I'm not sure, mate. You'd have to ask the powers to be, but I'm sure it'll probably be selected before we play.
You give your full endorsement and expect that Tex carries on?
I'm not sure, mate, but Tex has done a fantastic job so far in the last couple of years, and the boys love playing under him, so we'll see what happens.
Could you make the argument that for Roy to stay, he has to be captain?
I don't think Sloaney would take that into his calculations. I think Sloaney's a fantastic leader anyway, and once the vote's taken place, I'm sure we'll see the result, and I guess that's the strength of our group at the moment. We've got a couple of guys who are fantastic in that role that we think would be great candidates.
You'd like to see Tex stay on?
If that's the way it went, then yeah, I would.
Mindset from the players coming back, is it you build on what you've already done, or do you start again?
I think you need to continue on. I think there's a lot of positives. I reckon in this game, a lot of people look at the negatives and what needs to be improved, but I thought last year we got a lot right. Obviously, we played in a grand final and we didn't get the result we wanted, but before that, we had 2 fantastic finals, which is important to play well in big games. And I think you'll see a Crows team that we're going to build on what we did last year, but we just need to fine-tune a few things. And there's going to be a few personnel changes as it's already been spoken about. So I think there'll be enough there to keep us fresh, and enough will change to give us ourselves every chance.
What areas do you think that needs to improve to take the next step?
It's a tricky one, because I reckon at times our strength has been our contested work, and as mentioned, our offence and our Team D is certainly something that grew a lot last year. I think we were top 4 in Team D, so I think that shows that we're pretty strong in all the areas, but you need to be able to do it when it matters. And yet again, we showed we're able to do that, but it's important to make sure we do it when it matters this year going forward.
Do you need more depth in the midfield in that area, the contested stuff? Because obviously on the last game of the year, it didn't work out ideally, but for the majority, as you said, it worked. But do you need more weighted numbers to go through, so there isn't so much reliance on Crouch Brothers, Sloan and the like?
I think every club's chasing that. I think you showed probably early in the year, we started the year last year, without going back last year, we started the year really strongly and we had to change a few things. We saw Sloan get tagged and he was able to deal with that. I think that enabled other guys to get exposure, as you mentioned, the Crouch boys, and Curly Hampton was playing well, Hugh Greenwood, all these guys. And in the off-season, we've been able to obviously get Bryce Gibbs in, who's going to give us amazing depth through there as well. So I feel we've got 8 to 10 guys who can go through there on any game day. And I think it is important to have that depth because it shows, on the biggest stage, if it's not everyone's day, you still need guys contributing, finding ways to impact the game.
Where will you be better this year, Victor?
Hopefully my marking, I think that's something I've always, for 12 years in now, I've been chasing, trying to get better at my contested marking. I think I took a good step towards that last year, and that's something I want to keep progressing. And my ruck work's obviously been the strength of my game, but I think for me it's probably making sure I'm impacting the game pretty similar to the team when it's important. So that's probably one thing, and then obviously you follow up and all that as well. So once again, it's just about fine-tuning, hopefully improving in all areas.
There was a lot of talk at the end of last season, obviously with the power stats through the finals and how important mental training is with teams. Have you guys done much of that during the pre-season? Yeah, that's something, a space we'll continue to work on, no doubt. I think it's especially where we've been. We're a real galvanised group. I think we're a real mentally strong group as well. But at the same time, we didn't get the result we wanted last year. So I'll leave that up to the coaches to decide where they and how far they want to push that. But it's something we have continued to improve along with our physical stuff. Well, how did you analyse, I suppose, the grand final and the season as a whole from a mental perspective in terms of when teams challenge you? Are you guys mentally capable to fight back? Yeah, absolutely. I think we showed that last year. I think we're not going to throw the season away because we didn't perform on grand final day. I thought, as mentioned before, we started the year well. We had a bit of a patch in the middle where we had to change a few things. We were able to do that. We had some fantastic games. We were able to come back when we were up against it. So that's definitely part of our DNA at the club. And but as mentioned, it's something we'll continue to work on.